The ID.3 GTX is the most performance-focused ID.3 that we've seen to date. It goes on sale from about €38,500 for the GTX, or from about €40,500 for this GTX Performance Plus, with up to 326 horsepower through the rear wheels and numerous performance upgrades. It goes up against other electric hot hatches like the Alpine A290, the smart #1 Brabus, which is a personal favourite of mine, and then the Cupra Born VZ, which is actually the sister car to this. But is it a true electric hot hatch or just a fast ID.3? So to put things in perspective, let's do a quick recap on the standard ID.3. Power from about 170 horsepower up to 204 horsepower, and that's all linked to the battery size, what electric motor it gets. So a massive power upgrade in this. The standard GTX, it's 286 horsepower and it's 326 horsepower in this Performance Plus version. 0 to 100 is just 5.7 seconds, so it is really very quick. It's hot hatchback like performance, really, in a straight line at least. It does have talent when it comes to cornering as well, so they have updated obviously the tyres, the steering and the suspension with firmer springs and dampers so that it can handle all that extra power, and it does a really good job. It's rear wheel drive like all ID.3s as well, so that just makes it a teeny bit more playful. You can feel yourself being pushed out of the corner, so the straight line speed is really very impressive. The way this thing takes off, there's no launch control, there's no artificial noise in this either, so it's not entirely a Golf GTI experience. It's hard to beat a petrol powered hatchback. And I think there's a reason why they put GTX on the back of this and not GTI. I think they're still working on that. So I respect that they're taking their time with that. They don't want to get it wrong. You can't just slap the GTI badge on anything. Compared to something like Alpine A290 or smart #1 Brabus, I think those cars are a little bit more fun than this, but they're not as practical as this is when it comes to boot space and rear seating and range as well. So this uses a 79 kilowatt hour battery, so they've upped the capacity of the largest battery for the ID.3. So now you're getting 605 kilometers from the GTX, which is really something, and 595 in this Performance Plus. So it's a huge battery, a lot of range, and that absorbs really any sort of high consumption. Now the consumption is not too bad. You've got, I suppose, between 16 and 18 if you're just pottering around. I saw about 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers when I was out on the motorway doing a cruise, so it does get a bit steeper. Because it's such a big battery with a good indicated range, it absorbs it all and you're not feeling range anxiety. Charging is good as well, so you've got your 11 kilowatt AC and then up to 185 kilowatt DC, so 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. Ride quality is good as well. It does ride on the firmer side, I would say. Now this one gets the dynamic chassis control as standard, which does help with how it covers the road in terms of you can adjust things from a very firm sporty drive to a more comfort focused setting, and there's standard drive modes in this as well, but you can fine tune things a bit more in the individual setting. You do feel the road underneath you, particularly on bumpy rural roads or even on a long motorway cruise. I felt it was a little bit twitchy underneath me, but generally it's fine for such a performance beast as what this car is. Refinement is also very good as well, so it's really very well insulated, so it's got that premium finish. You wouldn't expect no less from Volkswagen. To be honest, I didn't love the styling of the ID.3 when it first came out, but I have warmed to it over the years and I do think it looks particularly sharp. It is King's Red metallic with all the trimmings of the GTX. Matrix LEDs is standard, this lights up as well. Sportier bumpers front and rear, and it also has that glossy black air intake with a diamond pattern. Around the side, black wing mirror caps, some really aggressive side sills. There's also 20-inch alloy wheels as standard, and you can get an option of them finished in black like what this car has as well. Just like the styling of this car, I wasn't mad on the interior when I first saw it either, just because it was so minimalist and so different from what had come before from Volkswagen. And I'm somebody who owned a Mark IV Golf. I loved that car. It had a brilliant premium interior for its era. Now they have improved this over the years in terms of the infotainment, but also the materials used. Some of the old bugbears do remain, like the haptic buttons on the steering wheel, which are just not very satisfying to use, and the window buttons. So you just get two and then one to toggle between the front and the rear, which annoys the absolute hell out of me even still. But the GTX is nice. You get these sports seats. They have different fabric depending on whether you go for the standard or the Performance Plus. You've got your GTX steering wheel and there's lots of red stitching around the place as well. Equipment levels are good too, so Harman Kardon sound system, adaptive cruise control, reversing camera. There's also a heated steering wheel and heated front seats with power adjustment. This one also has a head-up display. The 12.9-inch touchscreen is new across the range. It's a big improvement on what came before. New graphics, improved menu layout. You can set shortcuts at the top here. There's wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And it also includes battery preconditioning, which you can set manually or automatically through the navigation. So what about the Cupra Born VZ? They've got the same power and torque. They're sister cars. Performance stats are pretty much the same. I think it's a teeny bit more interesting to drive than this. I drove it in February, I think it was, in my memory, but then this is all the badge recognition of Volkswagen. It's classy and sporty all at the same time. The Born VZ is about €1,000 more expensive. That probably wouldn't put you off. It does get nicer bucket seats. They're much fancier than these ones, and generally I always felt the Born had a nicer interior than the ID.3 and just that little bit nicer to drive. But all in all, when you look at the price of this and all the equipment they've put in and the fact that it's more spicier than a standard ID.3, the range is amazing, it's brilliant, then I think you've got a good package here. It's got a nice sporty stance. You've got the roof spoiler, diffuser effect in that rear bumper, and LED lights. Because it's a GTX, that's spelled out here instead of ID3. This is how the boot opens. 385 litres, so it is a good size for an electric hatchback, but a few little problems with it. So for a start, this is quite a high load lip. There's no two-position boot floor, at least in this car anyway, and I think that'd be a really good addition because you've got your charging cables just thrown there in the corner, so there's nowhere to hide those. There's no frunk. But otherwise, it is a good space, it's good on volume, and you can also let down those rear seats. Rear legroom is something that Volkswagen got right from the start with the ID.3 because it's built with that bespoke MEB electric vehicle platform. Completely flat floor, so lots of legroom even for your middle seat passenger. Headroom could get tight for taller adults here in the back, but I'm fine, so that's all good. There are a few amenities like pockets in the back of those seats. There's also two USB-C ports, big door bins, and you get, of course, the obligatory armrest with a few drinks holders, and that hatch actually opens through to the boot. There's also ISOFIX on the front passenger seat and the two outer seats. So that's all from the cabin of the new Volkswagen ID.3 GTX. You can read more over on changinglanes.ie, and I left a link in the description below the video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.